A lot of drama with OpenAI this past weekend, where now the latest development is Microsoft is effectively set to acquihire, bringing over the top talent from OpenAI, which was the leading artificial intelligence company in the world, bringing over that talent to Microsoft and effectively for free. So skirting around any sort of antitrust concerns. I mean, this is an incredible development. What does this even mean for Microsoft? We're going to talk about all this and more. If you enjoy educational investment videos, you're watching Unrivaled Investing. So let's go through the developments. Friday afternoon, you got this amateur hour press release from the OpenAI board talking about how Sam Altman, the former CEO, he wasn't consistently candid in his communications, very vague about what exactly he did that was nefarious. And they talk about, look, our general mission is still focused on artificial general intelligence, which benefits all of humanity. Not quite sure how getting rid of Sam Altman actually helps with that mission, but yeah, we'll see. The funny thing about this, two things, one of which is never take a Google Meet call on a Friday evening. That's clearly, or Friday afternoon, clearly one of the lessons from Sam Altman. Number two, here it is. You have a company that's backed by Microsoft, and they're still not using Microsoft's products. They're still not using Microsoft Teams. They're saying Microsoft Teams is so bad, we would rather use Google Meet to relay the message. So I think Sam Altman got the memo. Do not take Google Meets on Friday afternoons. So this immediately resulted in Sam Altman, saying, look, I love the outpouring of friends, but he also had this little secret code here where he wrote, I love you all. That's actually the first letter of each of the initials for Ilya Sutskever, who was the person who ran the board of directors, the former chief of research at OpenAI, who supposedly led the initiative to oust Sam Altman. So this is sort of code of saying who did it. You immediately have his co-founder, Greg Brockman, resign, along with dozens of others saying, look, we're shocked and saddened by what the board of directors did here. This is a conflict. The reason part of this happened partly is because the board of directors, you have a lot more academic and theoretical types versus people with a for-profit interest. And that's the complexity with how OpenAI was structured. So you might have a new vehicle now where, with Microsoft for-profit focus, it's saying, hey, let's just plug our resources and grow as fast as possible and launch, incredible AI. So there's a lot of different possibilities here. Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, he supposedly found out just shortly before everyday investors, that Sam Altman was going to get the boot. So he's thinking, what the frick is going on here? Like, we're your serious partner. Do you want your Microsoft Cloud, credits to be working on Monday? You need to talk to us. We're your partner putting in, billions of dollars. This is something that the board should talk with their major partners before you make a decision like this. So then Sam Altman, with the combination of the investors as well as, the employees, mass exodus from the company, he effectively plays that reverse Uno card. He's invited as a guest to, OpenAI to talk about, okay, you know what, he should actually come back. And even Ilya Sutskever, he goes, look, I regret what I did. I never intended to effectively blow up OpenAI. I'm looking to do whatever it takes to get you back, honey. So he's upset here. He signs a letter with dozens of other OpenAI executives, saying, look, the current board is just completely bananas, where they're willing to destroy the company because they believe that would be consistent with the mission. So they're just completely detached from reality. And they're saying, look, your actions have made it obvious you are incapable of overseeing OpenAI. So very curious to see if the existing board of directors stays or if they get completely swapped out. It seems like they should, just from a high level perspective. Then you have Satya Nadella, the killer from Microsoft, coming, and he's like, look, we look forward to getting to know the new leadership at OpenAI. And by the way, this is around midnight last night. By the way, we're extremely excited to share the news that Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, together with colleagues, very vague, but yes, you're talking about hundreds of people from the OpenAI team, will be joining Microsoft to lead our new advanced AI research team. So yeah, we're going to be hiring these folks, and OpenAI is pretty much dead. I mean, this is just incredible. So what are some of my thoughts from this? First of all, I think some of the developments, and Sam Altman referred to this, the reaction from Ilya Sutskever, his concerns, and supposedly he was the one that pushed to get Sam Altman out because he was concerned maybe he was moving too fast or moving into the for-profit interest, too quickly. this does suggest that they're seeing technology significantly better than what's currently out there with ChatGPT 4. And ChatGPT 4 is already very good. And Sam Altman has pretty much said that. And one of the most recent, calls, he said, one of the recent talks, he said he hopes that next year's models will make the current ones look quaint. And quaint is a direct word. And he even said earlier this month that he's seen another just incredible development. So I think what's going on here is that the board management has seen something that is truly surprising with how powerful these models are, which might be cause to be a little concerned from a board perspective. Maybe they are saying like, hey, pull the red flag, like this has gotten too good. Maybe there's this concerns that in the hands of bad actors, you could cause some really bad trouble with this. So, maybe there is something there. There's clearly a big piece that we don't understand, because usually when you have a CEO that builds $100 billion company, it's rewarded, not kicked out. So a lot of people are thinking, hey, this is going to be like Steve Jobs, where he comes back and after he gets fired. Maybe John Scully would like to be part of the board. He was the CEO that previously fired Steve Jobs. And so here it is. You see Microsoft stock rallying. I think this makes sense, but, to the degree that it rallies, that's another question. It is very nice to be able to do this type of acquisition where you're acquiring this leading asset for zero premium. You're effectively just getting the people. Now, it does likely mean that ChatGPT 5 could be delayed, that it doesn't get rolled out very quickly because you don't have the support that you previously had. So that's one possibility. But at the same time, so the very short term deceleration, the multi-year perspective, possible reacceleration, because Microsoft is a company generating tens of billions of dollars in free cash flow. So if they can reinvest that to a division that Sam Altman says, hey, let's take as much free cash flow as possible and help leverage this with their cloud. And that's part of the reason why Microsoft's cloud business clearly was taking share, growing faster than Google this past quarter. So it's very interesting development, because you could have a reacceleration in terms of development with a company that effectively has endless resources. And Microsoft is one of those companies that, with their free cash flow, with their balance sheet, it's effectively a company with nearly endless resources. When you're talking about a company with, nearly 70 to $100 billion in annual free cash flow, that's tremendous. I think from a consumer perspective, as a lot of folks know, I'm the co-founder of AI Ticker Chat, which leverages artificial intelligence to help, investors research stocks, use AI Predict to come up with a framework for how to think about it. And I'll show you what AI Predict thinks of Microsoft in just a second. I think the consumer businesses is going to be a winner from this, because will reinvigorate competition. It'll reinvigorate that more players are out there. I suspect there's going to be some friction where some OpenAI users end up at various different companies. So I think the cost of these models, because there's going to be more competition, it's not just concentrated in OpenAI just winning it all. And so far, it seems like they have been. It seems like the talent, some will go to Microsoft. Some people will sort of get turned off by the Death Star and say, hey, I want to go to, some different firms, maybe some more startup-y companies. So I think you're going to see it spread out. I think you'll see a lot of different models. And so I think the consumer wins. We purposely structured AI Ticker Chat so that way the consumer can choose which model they want to use to ask certain questions of the documents. So that way, if one model is cheaper than the other, over time, we're going to be able to layer that in. So if there's, an open source model that's, on par with ChatGPT 4, you can do that. So that's, over time, I think the consumer wins here. I think another key reflection is just, where is Google with all of this? If there is a perfect window to launch a new ChatGPT equivalent type product, now is the time. I mean, chaos is a ladder. This is your opportunity for Google to be like, boom, mic drop, we did it. Here's our ChatGPT 4.5 that's even better. Where are they? Like, I'm just flabbergasted that Google hasn't kept up with OpenAI, like a company that had less funding than they did. I mean, truly, it makes me wonder if the bureaucracy there is just terrible. What's going on? If there's any, folks that work at Google or anyone have any sort of special insights, I'd love to hear it in the comments below or maybe they're just going to drop it next week or two, but where are they? Where's Google? This is the week to do it. So based on this news, with Microsoft effectively getting OpenAI's assets for free, their people, at the end of the day, the people, is now the time to potentially buy Microsoft stock. First of all, in full disclosure, this is not financial advice. Also, at Unrivaled Investing this week, I'm going to have a special Thanksgiving weekly update that will include an exclusive video overview of my top holdings and why I'm very excited about their potential. It's taken me quite some time to sort of queue these positions up. I'm very excited about, what I own and sort of the long-term trajectory. So I'm going to share that overview in a video going through, a thesis one by one. So now's a great time to lock in the favorable pricing and sort of get an overview if you're interested in following along with my own personal journey at unrivaledinvesting.com. So thinking about where does Microsoft go in the years ahead, this is once again using AI Ticker Chat. First month is free. This is leveraging AI to say, hey, what's Microsoft going to do in terms of revenue in the years ahead? What's their profit margins? What's the end multiple? Trying to get an estimate for where, based on these key aspects, reading the documents, where Microsoft goes. Based on, once again, AI reading these things, it's saying, hey, maybe it grows 10 to 18% per year in the years ahead. Maybe margins continue to improve from 42 to 48%. Maybe you have an earnings multiple 5 years out that's around 30 times. That effectively gets you between, let's say, around 100 to 150% upside potential. Plus, you have, around, a couple percent in cash flow that's going to you per year. I mean, this is still a nearly $3 trillion company generating between, let's say, $60 and $70 billion in free cash flow. So around 2-3% free cash flow yield. Plus, it's going to be growing over time. So I look at this and I'm thinking, even though OpenAI is a tremendous, acquisition, effectively buying this talent for no premium, you're still talking about a company that's $3 trillion that has some products that people don't even like. Even the OpenAI folks were choosing not to use Teams. They were using, Google Meet for their video calls. So I look at this and think $100 billion, even if, let's say, OpenAI was really worth $300 billion, it's still a $3 trillion company nearly. So that's almost a rounding error for Microsoft. What I want to see, though, is let's see these products, roll out with greater acceleration. You've started seeing it with their cloud, growing faster, a pickup in growth, faster than Google. So it is possible that they include these AI, key revolutionary type products to help accelerate their growth and products. So we'll see. That said, it's there, some other data points to consider. I personally look at this and think the upside scenario that AI Ticker Chat is penciling out, this 18%, might be a little bit too high. So I also check in. This is a new feature. I'm hesitant to talk about this because we're just rolling this out now at AI Ticker Chat, but we now have analysts' data in terms of what Wall Street's thinking. And so here's the revenue outlook from, the analysts' low, average, and high. And so you can see the high case is indeed higher than what Wall Street's expecting, whereas the average and low is more in line. So going back to this chart, what we're talking about here, this would make me think that we're really talking about a stock, that maybe is closer to break even to up, 70% over the next 5 years, which isn't super compelling. And just, back at the envelope math, you're looking at a stock trading at around 35 to 40 times free cash flow. And it's a huge company. So are they really going to reaccelerate their growth? Could you see earnings compression in the years ahead where, let's say, it goes from 35 times to 20 times in the years ahead? Could that create a multi-year headwind for investors? I personally just think that there are easier investments out there. Also, another key point is that this saga is fluid. It is not over. It's very possible something else shakes up. Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, the team at OpenAI, maybe they all get the band back together and it's not with Microsoft. So it's a very fluid situation. I would, hold off before buying Microsoft on this news. I would want to see, let's see this gel a little bit more. Let's actually see if this happens, because I think there's a little bit of a culture shock that could happen here where folks say, well, wait a second, do I actually want to work at Microsoft? So I'm looking at this either way. I think businesses that leverage AI, consumers that leverage AI, will win with ultimately, better models in the future and lower pricing. You're going to have more competition from this, which is very exciting. And but it's too clear to say. It's too early to say if Microsoft is, even though they're going to be buying, effectively, it seems like they're buying this for free, if it's indeed going to lock in with the employees going there and rolling out the products that drive accelerated growth and profitability. So far, you have seen a little bit of it with their cloud segment. I'm curious if they'll keep it up. If this video has been helpful for you, please make a point of hitting that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. You're watching Unrivaled Investing.